It's been well over a month since my last iPhone 16 and 16 Pro leak updates video, and this time, the updates are finally getting even juicier with 9 new leak updates. So let's jump right into the first one. This one comes as a huge surprise to me because the iPhone 15 Pro models just had a massive improvement in this area, but Apple is apparently gonna do it again on the iPhone 16 models. According to CISA Journal, Apple will bring new ultra-thin bezel technology to the new iPhones later this year using something called BRS, or Border Reduction Structure tech, to minimize the bezel at the bottom of the display. BRS is able to do this by essentially rolling up the internal copper wiring into a more compact package, and since Apple loves keeping their bezels even on all sides, making the bottom bezel thinner means all sides of the bezels can get even thinner. So that's one of the ways Apple will be increasing the screen sizes up to 6.3 and 6.9 inches as previously rumored on the new Pro models. Now for leak update number 2, we recently got new iPhone 16 Pro schematics showing a bunch of new changes that were previously rumored and now basically confirmed with this leak from 91 Mobiles. As you can see, the camera bump is getting absolutely massive on the regular 16 Pro because of the 5x tetraprism camera coming to this smaller model, which is currently exclusive to the 15 Pro Max, which I absolutely love using. Looking at the action button, it seems that the rumors were true about Apple making it much bigger than the current action button that we have now. It's not only much longer, but it also seems even wider than the actual volume buttons, which is quite interesting. And finally, right here you can see this additional button, which is the new capture button that almost looks like it'll be a capacitive button based on that ribbed edge, since it doesn't look like any of the other ones. And as far as why it's there, it's meant to make your phone feel more like a DSLR camera when taking photos and videos. Now speaking of the cameras, we have some interesting updates from the information, which is new leak update number 3. As we already knew, the 16 Pro models will finally be getting a 48 megapixel ultra wide camera, but according to this new report, Apple will apparently be improving the aperture of every single rear camera all at once, which is a very good thing because it not only improves the low light quality, since faster aperture takes in more light, but it'll also increase that nice looking bokeh or background blur effect in photos, so I'm super excited for this change. And moving on to leak update number 4, we have some display tech upgrades. The recent Galaxy S24 Ultra from Samsung came with a really nice display, arguably the nicest looking display in the industry, which includes an incredibly good anti-reflectivity layer and awesome brightness improvements. Well, apparently the new display tech is called Samsung's 13th generation Super AMOLED panel tech, or M13. And last year, RG Cloud S leaked on X that Apple was supposed to be using this same M13 tech on the iPhone 15 Pro displays, but of course that was delayed and we finally saw it with the S24 Ultra. So Apple just reused the same M12 tech from the iPhone 14 release onto the new iPhone 15 again. So this likely means that the iPhone 16 Pro models will finally be getting a big display tech upgrade to this new M13 display, increasing the brightness and efficiency, and hopefully they're gonna get that same really nice anti-reflective display. Now for leak number 5, the new iPhone 16 regular model design is all but confirmed at this point with recent leaks we've had over the last couple of months. We are gonna be getting dual cameras with the microphone right there in the middle on the right side, and then flash actually on the outside next to that, which is interesting that it's outside of the camera module. Now Majin Buu even shared a CAD file of a new case for the iPhone 16, showing that case manufacturers will in fact have to include a separate hole punch cutout for the flash, which is pretty odd, but I guess Apple sometimes does weird stuff with their designs. Now moving on to leak number 6, Majin Buu also late last month leaked that we could be getting 2 new color options for the iPhone 16 Pro models, Desert Titanium and Titanium Gray. Now this is quite interesting and it actually makes sense because currently the natural titanium has a very neutral and subtle color, so Desert Titanium would essentially be like the new gold color option, which some people are really missing. And then Titanium Gray would be a great option for those people who thought natural titanium was too warm, with the new gray color being darker and more cool toned. So in my opinion, I think these 2 color options will replace the current titanium blue, which I have right here, and the natural titanium. Now for leak number 7, you may have heard that Apple's recent iPhones have struggled with battery health and longevity, starting with the iPhone 14 models. Well, I dug up this interesting post from RG Cloud S saying that both the iPhone 14 and 15 models use battery cells that are actually cheaper cells than what we got with the iPhone 13 lineup, in an attempt to save money because they were spending a lot on the other new features and they really wanted to keep the price the same as before. So the battery is essentially where Apple saved some cash, and that meant battery cells with only around 600 charge cycles, which is why users have been noticing their battery health going down so quickly. But as far as the new iPhone 16 Pro models, we're apparently going to be getting brand new batteries with stacked cell technology, which will be larger and potentially come in a new metal enclosure because they no longer swell as much as before, which is something Apple did with the Apple Watch a couple years back, improving the battery life. So hopefully this means that they will finally bring back higher density cells later this year. Now for leak number 8, Apple's gonna potentially give the iPhone 16 Pro Max model a new additional super zoom camera, but it depends entirely on Samsung. We had a leak from RG Cloud S which showed that Samsung apparently locked away their periscope camera patent for years, not allowing anybody to use it, which is why it took Apple so long to give us a proper long-range telephoto camera. Apple actually had to resort to inventing their own brand new 5x tetraprism camera that we have today, which basically ruined Samsung's master plan of having the best telephoto tech for years, and that's probably why they switched to a 5x camera with a better sensor on the S24 Ultra. Well, apparently Apple has been working with LG Innotek on their own periscope camera just in case Samsung allows them to license their periscope patent, which they might actually do now that their plan to lock Apple away failed. But Apple's big secret is that they apparently have a second-gen periscope camera that can zoom up to around 300 millimeters, which is nuts, allowing 100x zoom just like Samsung has. However, Apple's version is even better because it apparently has variable true optical zoom within the periscope module itself, so if Samsung allows Apple to license their periscope tech, Apple might actually give us that rumored super telephoto zoom lens on this year's iPhone 16 Pro Max, but it's gonna be a big if, and it could easily get delayed until next year. And finally, for leak number 9, Ross Young recently gave us an interesting update to his Apple iPhone display tech roadmap, which starts from the iPhone 13 all the way to the iPhone 19 in 2027. And apparently, he's been hearing that Apple's under-display Face ID technology may actually be delayed until 2026. Previously, he expected that this new tech would come next year on the iPhone 17 Pro, switching to a hole punch camera design with Face ID actually being underneath the display. But no, it's getting delayed until 2026's iPhone 18 Pro, which ultimately means that if you were waiting for that hole punch camera design and holding off on these current dynamic island models, you're gonna have to wait 2 more years because both the iPhone 16 Pro this year and the 17 Pro next year will still come with the dynamic island. And there you guys go. Those were the 9 new leak updates for the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro models. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and click that circle above to subscribe for more videos like this one. Definitely check one of those out right there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.